My name's Paul Wellard, I live in Perth. Uh, well, routine weren't really that difficult as far as like the physical routine and that, but I did and still do, hence the fact I'm still under cornerstone at the moment and on medication because of I suffer from depression, and when you first go in and everything's explained, you've in case like with a first timer like me, you've got so much running through your head, you need time for what's actually cleared before you can actually take in on how a prison actually works and that. And by then, before you actually got space to take stuff in, yeah, given your induction and where the brain's still so full and going through so much at that point in time, you can't really take the induction in because there's already so much there happening. So it just becomes a blur. The, you could always get a bit of information from the guards, but most of what you actually learn in that comes from the other prisoners, because with the way things are in prison, you can't really seem to be getting pally with the guards, because that in the long term make life more difficult for yourself. Well, just in case things don't get completely through because of how much is going through your head when you first go in, if they gave it a few more days after the first induction and just have that person back in and take them through it again to say, just in case your brain was so overloaded the first time, we're going to take you through some of it again to let you know how it works and that, and how to get along in prison. And part of the difficulty for me was with being on remand, you don't get a cell wage or anything. So if you like me and you smoke and that, you don't have money for tobacco and that, so you're always on the scrounge. And it'd be nice to see some help for people that are on remand to actually get money to pay for things. I've spent a bit of time in prison myself, and I had a bit of, well, found it difficult when I came out with the where I suffered from depression, plus where I've been in prison I started to suffer from anxiety attacks. Most difficult in readjusting for me was where it was my first offence and first time in prison and that. It was uh, part of what really hit me was I could see people that I used to speak to all the time and say hello to them, and they just blanked and walked straight past. And when I was actually in prison, I weren't informed that things like that could happen. I didn't even think about things like that, and I didn't realise it, how much that hit me at the time. Well, with me it was contacting a criminal justice worker, getting a criminal justice worker sorted out and getting referred to Cornerstone. It's from someone that I knew where I've done charity work for years, I used to work on a soup van on a Saturday, passing out bags of sandwiches and that to homeless and people that are struggling, that I bumped into, and he said, well, suggested criminal justice to me, and gave me their telephone number and that, and told me where they were so I could go along or ring them and make an appointment to see about getting help. Well, before I actually got liberated from prison, I thought to myself, well, I'm 39 years old at the time. I've always looked after myself. I've always done my own shopping and everything, and I did get a sheet of paper saying, "Do you need help with this, help with that?" But on the help with shopping, like carrying and how to work out your money and that, where I've always done that in the past. To me, that was no problem. I didn't realise myself at the time how it affected me in the way of anxiety and that. And part of the reason I managed to find criminal justice and Cornerstone was because in the prison, that's all I got was a sheet of paper saying, "Do you need help with this? Do you know how to work money out?" And that to me, that was all. Yes, I know how to do that. I can do my own carrying. I know how to sort money out myself. And where it actually said, "Do you need mental health help?" I, part of what really got to me was, at that point in time, I was thinking how I'd been in the past. I wasn't thinking how it could actually affect me when I actually got out. And it would have helped if you got a sheet of paper on your way out with numbers that you could call if you did actually find in the end when you got out you found it a struggle because you're not actually prepared for how things have actually, things and people have actually changed towards you, how it could affect you. And when it does come down to it, it affects you in more ways than you think. Well, housing and money, it'd be helpful to be able to do more about housing, like actually having, if you're coming out on a taxi, you've got to be in at certain times, having a place sorted out where you could go with that sort of equipment on. So it'd be nice to actually be able to speak to the council a couple of months, about a month before you was due your tag papers, so you could actually get a ball rolling and see if you can actually get a place arranged before you actually get out, for you to go with, with the tag or any other sort of conditions. Also, money is another one. Where the job centre is so slow in actually getting your money sorted out, they should be able to get you started with signing on and that, so things were already going through the system, that you don't have to wait up to 6-8 weeks to get money once you've come out. It'd be nice to actually have it all in place so you could, as well as getting, alright, you get 1 week's benefit money when you live on your way out. It'd be nice to have it sorted so when you come out, that money that you got there only has to last you for a week, 2 at the most, so you're not waiting for up to a couple of months to get your money. Because with how it is at the moment, it's just so little money to last for so long, which makes life really difficult when you're finally liberated. The prison courses, I can't fault them. I've done great with mine, but the thing is with paperwork, having it sent to like your last address on the system, and where I was staying in on the tag, where they've sent some of my papers from the courses I had done to that address, I have not received them myself. I've never seen them. So what I think would be a good way of working it for the prisoners is if the papers were put in like your personal property at the prison, so you could actually pick up your certificates or passing the courses on the way out, or actually have them sent to the from the college to the prison to the prisoner while they're still there, just so they've actually got those papers. No, they didn't help in that way at all, because in prison that's all they're doing is saying what sort of jobs will you be looking for. They don't say, do you need any, well, are you thinking about doing any other courses or anything, because the way it is with prisons at the moment, once you're kicked out the gate, you're on your own basically, and that's not, as far as I can see, helping people at all. Because I've met some people that wanted to go for different courses, but where they're only out for a short period of time basically, they start to get the ball rolling, they start finding it difficult, and some of us have been in prison for some time, they've actually used that time to come off habits like alcohol abuse or drug abuse. By the time things actually get sorted out, it's actually put them to a point where they've actually gone back to using the drugs or taking the alcohol. They don't realise that they're actually stuck in a vicious circle. They actually come out, start taking the drugs, start taking the alcohol before they have time to get themselves sorted properly because of the problems, and they just end up back in prison again. Having ways to have like the people from the colleges from where you're from to be able to come in, if you want to carry on with education and do other courses, to come in, say, yeah, we can accept you, so you can apply for the courses while you're in prison, and the colleges can come in and say, sorry, yeah, you haven't been accepted for this course, like you need to do another course first, or yeah, you've been accepted for the course, it's all been sorted out, you started the course on such a date, then it might actually help to give more people coming out of prison the point of not actually having to try and sort it all out on the outside, which is where they can turn to the drugs or the alcohol. So it's less for them to actually struggle with when they get out, instead of coming out of prison and having to sort it out all by themselves, well, basically by themselves, and ending up back in square one. Well, prison staff and care workers and that should, I think, really have a closer connection, because right now there's not really any system there for help that you actually think of, because some people like myself, which spent time in, if I was actually given a sheet of numbers on the way out saying, or if I saw someone from, like in my case, Cornerstone, before I actually come out, that said to me, you might not actually realise it yet, but you might need help and support when you've been liberated. You find that you need help. Here's a list of numbers, or a number you can contact to get that sort of help. And if it's given to you like as you're on your way out the door, or whatever, to be given that sheet of numbers to see you've actually got it there, so if in a day or two's time you find, like I did, this isn't right, it's not helping, and that is actually the point when I realised I could have done with those numbers. And if I was given a sheet with those sort of numbers on the way out, I would have called them then. But whereas in my case, where I didn't have that, it was a search around, it was try to find things out, and at the same time trying to cope with doing things the best I could. At times it was a struggle, and where it had become anxiety attacks with me, I was having to duck round corners in alleyways, and it affected me in a physical way as well, because several times I thought, it started going through my head, because I thought, oh, you watch, I'm going to be grabbed for shoplifting on the way up, because I was fine all the time I was doing the shopping, but sometimes got to the till, I started getting sweaty, shaky, and in the case of like me, it's, I'm going to get nabbed for shoplifting in a minute, they're going to think I've been up to something, where I was actually paying for everything that I had brought, because I don't believe in shoplifting. That is the sort of time where, like with me, I realised I needed that support, and at that point I had to search around, as I say, and find the support myself. It was just the fact that I've done charity work with homeless people and that in the past. I bumped into someone I knew, and he went, well, I'm on the criminal justice myself. Oh, what are they? Where are they based? He gave me the telephone number, the address, so I could go in and say, look, I'm not coping here, I need help. And that's where it would have come in handy, instead of me carrying on, or trying to carry on, with struggling, to have had like the telephone numbers at that point, just go, first, oh, I'm not coping, I need help, and sheet of numbers there to say places or people that you can ring to get the support you need.